I am Varan, and this is the Mystery Vault, where the forbidden truth awakens. It began with the silence. No explosions, no invasions, no signs of war, just a quiet shift in the sky. Across the world, radar stations started recording strange fluctuations in the ionosphere, tiny pulses of electromagnetic energy, moving in perfect triangular formations. At first they were dismissed as weather satellites, or aurora distortions. But then, the missing reports began. In 2025 alone, over 80,000 unexplained disappearances were registered worldwide, entire groups vanishing within seconds, sometimes caught in the reflection of car dash cams or airport CCTV. What was left behind wasn't blood or wreckage, but radiation, traces of isotopes not found anywhere on Earth's surface, isotopes with a signature frequency identical to those same sky anomalies. And yet, every government agency remained silent. No press conference, no explanation. Only one leaked document surfaced online, stamped U.S. Atmospheric Anomaly Division Confidential. Subjects extracted under Class 5 operation. Non-human collection pattern confirmed. That phrase, non-human collection pattern, sent shockwaves through the deep web. Because it suggested something horrifying. Whatever they weren't just watching anymore. They were taking. Satellite data showed the same phenomenon over oceans, deserts, and abandoned industrial zones. Whole flocks of birds, pods of whales, herds of animals gone. The energy signature, always the same. A pulsing triangular pattern, rotating clockwise, 13 beats per second. People began calling it the harvest signal. Governments called it data noise. But independent astronomers confirmed it. The pulses weren't random. They were synchronized with Earth's rotation, adjusting position every 24 hours, as if tracking the planet's heartbeat. That's when a scientist from the European Deep Space Observation Program, Dr. Elias Keene, went missing. Before he disappeared, he sent one final encrypted message to a journalist at the Mystery Vault. "They're not coming for war, they're coming for something inside us." And attached to that message was a single file, a transmission captured from low orbit, directed straight at Earth's magnetosphere. When decoded, it revealed a sound, a low harmonic vibration resembling a human heartbeat, multiplied 1,000 times. After Dr. Keene's disappearance, the Mystery Vault received fragments of his encrypted data through anonymous cloud drops. Each file contained images of the upper atmosphere taken with modified spectral lenses. At first glance, they looked like storm clusters, random electrical patterns flickering above the clouds. But when Varan layered the frames chronologically, something emerged that chilled even the most skeptical eye. A grid, enormous, geometric, invisible to the naked eye, stretching across continents. Each node pulsed with precision timing, synchronized to the atomic clock used by satellites in low orbit. This wasn't nature, it was infrastructure. Dr. Keene's files included a series of notes labeled Phase 5 Biospectral Extraction. Inside, one entry read, "Atmospheric anomalies align with the theta wave range of human neural activity." The pattern suggests resonance capture, energy harvested not from the body, but from consciousness itself. That revelation reframed everything. The harvest wasn't about resources, metals, or DNA. It was about the human signal, the collective frequency of thought and emotion. The sky grid wasn't just tracking us, it was tuning to us. In multiple leaked transmissions from decommissioned military satellites, patterns of light could be seen moving within storm systems, triangular shadows reflecting against the cloud layers, bending light rather than emitting it. The objects operated above radar detection, yet every few hours, the grid emitted a single pulse detectable by amateur radio enthusiasts. The pulse repeated the same numeric sequence every time, 313-33-333. Dr. Keene believed these numbers represented harmonic markers within the electromagnetic field, the resonance points where consciousness could be lifted or extracted. Meanwhile, strange physical effects began occurring among people who lived beneath the most active zones: unexplained fatigue, sudden blackouts lasting seconds, and intense dreams of being lifted through walls by light that feels alive. Witnesses described hearing a soundless hum, like pressure inside the skull, moments before losing awareness. Some woke miles away with missing time, others never returned at all. Global agencies scrambled to explain it. The European Space Agency claimed it was solar interference. The U.S. Air Force classified it as psychological contagion. But Dr. Keene's encrypted journal, recovered days after his disappearance, contained a final line that hinted at something much darker. The frequency isn't from them. It's from us. They're only responding to a call humanity doesn't remember sending. That sentence raised a terrifying question. What if the harvest signal wasn't an invasion, but a response? The deeper Varan dug into Dr. Keene's archives, the clearer the pattern became. Hidden among his files was a folder marked Majestic Protocol Level Omega. Inside were declassified fragments dating back to 1977, when a solar flare over the Pacific supposedly knocked out every weather satellite for 9 hours. But according to these files, it wasn't a flare at all. It was the first contact transmission. The documents described a meeting between aerospace contractors and a covert division of the United Nations known only as Aether Command. The subject: energy exchange with non-terrestrial observers. The proposal was simple: grant atmospheric access to specific electromagnetic layers, and in return receive advanced weather modulation and communication technologies. Decades ahead of anything public, the trade was authorized under a single phrase: human resonance data permissible under Project Helix. Project Helix. That was the real origin of global climate systems, the quiet skeleton beneath every satellite network we trust. Each orbiting platform wasn't merely collecting weather data, it was recording the faint neural frequencies of the population below, our fears, our dreams, our pulse as a species. When the data reached a certain threshold, transmissions spiked in the upper atmosphere, and the visitors came to collect. Varan traced a line between those spikes and every major global blackout since the 1980s. The signatures matched, the same triangular resonance, the same missing isotopes. But there was more, a recurring name buried in the contracts: Prometheus Array. It was a system supposedly dismantled in 1999, built to monitor ionospheric currents. Yet new telemetry showed it had been reactivated in 2025, the same year the disappearances surged. Prometheus was never a monitor, it was a beacon. The files suggested humanity had been feeding data to the visitors for nearly 50 years, gradually teaching them how to map the frequencies of the human soul. Now the learning phase was over, the harvest phase had begun. Across the world, strange atmospheric columns appeared, vertical shafts of blue light stretching from horizon to stratosphere, shimmering like heat waves. To the naked eye they looked like auroras. To those sensitive enough, they felt like breathing. People standing beneath them reported losing sense of gravity. Their minds filled with visions of enormous shapes moving above the clouds, shapes that shimmered like liquid mirrors. Dr. Keene's last audio file played only 4 words, whispered through static. We opened the door, and the door, it seemed, would not close again. Within weeks of the reactivation, the world began to change in ways no one could quantify. It wasn't fire or invasion, it was subtle erosion. People reported waking with nosebleeds, metallic tastes, and vivid dreams of standing in endless corridors of light. Hospitals documented a global rise in cardiac arrhythmias. Everywhere heartbeats were faltering, as if the planet itself had skipped a pulse. Satellite operators described phantom feedback, invisible objects orbiting Earth faster than physics allowed. Every 90 minutes, the Prometheus Array emitted a new pulse, a harmonic signature synchronized with the average human heart rate, 72 beats per minute. The pulse didn't just travel through the sky, it traveled through us. Then came the mirror nights. Thousands captured the phenomenon on their phones, the clouds reflecting light from no known source, shimmering with intricate, almost organic patterns. The light bent downward, and within it, silhouettes. Tall, slender, reflective forms. They didn't descend, they phased through the air itself, like holograms collapsing reality's texture. Governments denied everything, but leaked footage from a closed Argentinian military base revealed something extraordinary: biological residue recovered after one of the mirror nights. Under the microscope, it pulsed, it reacted to sound, and when the technicians whispered near it, it vibrated in response to human words. Dr. Keene's final notebook, recovered by Varan through deep web contacts, decoded the residue's spectral data. Each cell contained a complete neural frequency map, not of a single human, but of many, combined into one wave. They're not harvesting bodies, Keene had written. They're harvesting consciousness. The field collects what the flesh cannot carry. And then came the event over New Zealand's South Island, at precisely 3:33 a.m. Thousands of power grids flickered. A city's worth of people looked up to see the sky ripple like water, revealing an enormous translucent structure, a lattice of energy spanning the horizon, pulsing like a living organism. It emitted no sound, yet every witness reported hearing the same phrase inside their minds: the collection nears completion. After that night, the magnetic north drifted by another degree. Radio frequencies worldwide realigned, and every human EEG reading began to show a strange oscillation, a faint signal at 13 Hz, the same as the harvest pattern Dr. Keene had discovered. The Prometheus array was no longer transmitting, it was translating. Earth itself had become a node in their network, and we were the signal. At 11:11 p.m., every communications network on Earth failed. Phones, satellites, even undersea cables, silent. The sky itself seemed to exhale. A faint vibration rolled across the atmosphere, low and constant, like the heartbeat of a living world. Cities went dark, compasses spun. And in the quiet, something vast began to take shape above the horizon. Not a ship, not a storm, but a reflection. It was as if the entire sky had turned into a mirror. Through that mirror, the stars rearranged themselves, forming symbols older than language: spirals, eyes, lattices of light. And in the center, a single colossal shape emerged, translucent, geometric, pulsing with rhythm. Not metal, not flesh, conscious geometry. Then the voice came, not through sound, but through every frequency that defined life itself. It wasn't transmitted, it was felt. Every heartbeat aligned, every mind vibrated in unison. And the message was clear: we did not come to take, we came to collect what you have already surrendered. People fell to their knees, not in fear but in recognition. The harvest was not about domination, it was about returning what was borrowed, the fragments of a consciousness scattered across flesh, now ready to rejoin its source. Dr. Keene's notes had warned of this moment. He had written, almost like prophecy, they were never our gods. They were never our enemies. They were us, reaching back through time to reclaim the echo of what we were. The luminous structure above Earth began to expand, threads of light descending like auroras made of glass. People who stepped beneath them vanished, not burned, not abducted, simply dissolved into radiance. Their bodies became light, their shadows lingering a moment longer than the flesh itself. Then, gone. By dawn, the phenomenon ceased. The grid collapsed. The Prometheus array went offline permanently. And for the first time in recorded history, the planet's electromagnetic field stabilized completely. The harvest was over, and humanity, or what remained of it, had been rewritten. Varan's closing report for the Mystery Vault was short, and it would become legend. They didn't come for our bodies. They came for the echo that lives between our thoughts, the signal that built us, and the silence that remains. Then he looked to the sky, and for a fraction of a second, the mirror blinked back. The harvest has ended, but the watchers remain. The sky isn't above us anymore, it's around us. Subscribe to the Mystery Vault and uncover what they left behind before the next collection begins. Because the truth was never out there, it was inside us all along.